always do that. Hey, little team. Happy Thursday.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I forgot. I just started using my microphone again because I'm slowly migrating back to my office and we're still doing renos, but I'm like, I forgot what it's like to have a microphone.
Oh my gosh.
I'm hoping that we're going to see some more people because it looks really quiet on here.
Oh, I know, everybody's excited.
And I don't want that to be quiet.
Whoops.
Where is everybody? This is unusual. It's actually kind of freaking me out.
There's Millie.
Yay, Millie's here.
Christine's here.
I see Christine.
Aja's here. Oh, that's exciting. It's Aja's
first team call. Yay.
Hey, hi guys.
So exciting. Are we pronouncing that right? It's Asia, right? Okay, you're going to call us on that stuff, right? It's funny, I was just talking to Amy before, who's going to be our guest host tonight. She was asking me about pronunciation. And I actually was telling a story. I mean, I know some of you guys know this already, but many moons ago, I was actually a debt collector. Horrible job. Don't recommend anybody do that. And we used to obviously have to like cold call people all day. And I had to call all these places in Quebec, and I couldn't pronounce any of the names. And one of the names, it looked like it was spelt Benoit, but obviously in French it's pronounced Benoit. So I called and asked for Benoit. It was hilarious. Clearly he did not come to the phone. He did not want to pay his Visa bill or whatever it was. But welcome, Amy. I see you on there. Feel free to unmute yourself. I don't know where everybody is. This is unusually quiet. It's kind of freaking me out. I'll give it a couple minutes with everybody before I announce Amy.
There were several people who said they are coming. They're just going to be joining us in progress.
Okay. I saw in the team chat thread that there was a bunch of people saying, oh, they're having trouble getting on the call. How many times do I post the same link and everybody's like, I can't find the link? It's actually kind of funny. Does somebody want to type it in the chat thread for me or in the team chat thread? Do you mind?
Oh, Wonder Woman cup. Love that.
Hi.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Hi. I'm like a squirrel. Oh, need that cup.
Candy's our team Wonder Woman, our Wonder Woman lady.
Oh, Colleen. Colleen's our Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah, Colleen. Colleen is the first time I met Colleen. She was like Wonder Woman out in the airport.
Have you guys seen
her 2 years ago?
In her highlights, in her stories, if you haven't seen it, you got to go to her page because she turns on the Wonder Woman music and she has a headband and then she turns it down and it's awesome. It's
what?
Awesome.
When? Why have I not seen this, Colleen?
You got to go see it.
It's in the funnies highlights.
I have to go look for that.
Oh, you are here, Colleen. It's awesome.
I'm just going to post the link in the chat thread one more time and then we'll just start anyway.
And am I the only one having wine tonight?
Only because I haven't opened the bottle yet.
Where's Aaron?
Yeah, where's Aaron? What the heck? I need to call Jeff and be like, Team Happy Hour, crack the bottle. We have a bottle of wine here. We should just open it now.
What happened to Dry September?
Oh, we forgot about Dry September.
That was the people were like,
this is great. This is grape juice. It's not wine. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's why I didn't commit, you guys. I couldn't do it.
At least Millie's honest.
September.
I didn't even try.
At least Millie's honest. That's so good.
So, Asia, are you afraid of us yet?
Oh, I know. Oh, no.
Don't be.
If you're part of this team, you have to be partially insane. So it actually works out really good.
How to work this thing.
Okay.
Oh, no, you're muted, Asia.
Okay, I'll let us chat for like one more minute, and then I'm going to mute everybody.
Oh, guys, you know how this goes. So, hey, hold on. Say hi.
Hi. Hi, buddy. Hi, handsome.
It's becoming a usual routine. He has to say his hello to ladies.
Well, we appreciate that. Okay, guys, forgive me, but I'm going to mute everybody because I want
No, go ahead.
time, and she's doing us a favor. So if you guys don't mind, just mute yourself if I haven't caught you yet. I might be like accidentally unmuting people that have muted themselves. Okay, so I just want to say thank you. First of all, I'm so excited for this call because Aimee, amazing Aimee, am I pronouncing your last name right? Since we're speaking of, is it Coppola?
Yep.
Okay. So I was blessed enough to meet Aimee a couple years ago at GoPro. Actually, Jen Menard Victor was with me. Aimee is amazing. Single mama, 7-star in her first business center, 1-star in her second, 75 months SC. Been a coach since 2012, and she is like a wealth of information. And when we met her at GoPro, me and Jen were just like octopuses glommed onto her, asking her questions. And she was so kind. And was so encouraging and helpful and helped us out. So I'm so excited. Aimee, I'm going to actually, before I hand it over to Aimee, I just want to give a quick shout out to Christina Peters. I don't know if she made it on the call tonight, but she actually just became a business starter. So huge shout out to Christina Peters. Well done. Amazing job. And Karen Hanks, I'm not sure if she made it on the call tonight either, but she is officially an Emerald Coach this week, which is so exciting. If anybody has an announcement for one of their coaches, you can unmute yourself. And I'm just going to quickly give Jenny Nielsen a shout out too for being the top Success Club earner right now on the team. And Candy and Christina are tied for second place. So way to go. Candy, it's all you.
I just want to introduce Asia Davis. I'm so excited that you're here. Yay. So I just want everyone to say hello and say hi. This is her official first
team call.
I'll try not to scare her away. First time,
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, and I'm going to hand it over to Aimee, and she is going to rock our world, I'm sure. Thank you so much.
No pressure. Just rock our world. Okay? Holding a Wonder Woman mug.
Thank you, Trina. It's really great to be here with you guys tonight. I was excited to come on and talk to you guys because, like Trina said, we got to meet at, what was the official, that was the long title for that event.
It was the Network Marketing Pro Women's Convention.
Most successful women in network marketing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. But what was really neat about that, and I actually just spoke the other day on Ashley Fieldenstein's call because same event that I got to spend time with her, and I loved that even earlier, I had been a few years in the business, but I think Trina was still the earlier coach at that point, and Ashley as well. And what stands out to me so much before we jump into anything is when you have a leader like this who is already committed to their own personal growth, not just with the Beachbody Live events, which are hugely critical, but also with these additional ones that are really just, they're times that you're going to take to level up. And that is, one of the main things that's going to help propel you to create teams of your own that you can lead successfully and continue up-leveling your growth so you can deliver that to your teams as well. So loved meeting Trina and Ashley and everybody else that I got to hang out with there, and really excited to come on and share with you guys tonight. So Asia, I'm going to try not to scare you away. No, but honestly, I love being able to share. I've been a coach now for 6 years, earned Success Club every single month since I started. I'll give you a little bit of my story in just a minute of how I got started also. But I'm not really great, like my specialty is not necessarily organization or systems or tracking or any of these things. I think probably my strongest suit that I want to share with you guys tonight is really about mindset. And that is something that is huge, because even if you think, oh, it's woo, or whatever you want to title it, or, oh, that's good for them, but I don't need that, I can tell you that the thing that's going to make you not only successful in this business, but joyful and feeling good in this business long term is really your mindset. So I just want to kind of just set that up and give you guys that introduction. We are going to get into some tangible things after we go through the setup of how I got started and the things that I overcame, and hopefully you guys will get some nuggets out of that. But we'll go over some tangible things as well, some steps that you can take in creating awesome mindset success, say that 5 times fast, in your own businesses. So I'm going to share screen really quick. I have a quick little PowerPoint for you. And I think I turned off my messages, so you won't see any dirty text coming. No, I'm kidding. No text coming through. And let's slideshow play. Okay. Can everybody see okay? Thumbs up? Yep. Okay, cool. So again, there's all kinds of ways that you can define success, right? And to me, it's not necessarily a particular rank. It's not a particular income. It's not a particular anything, honestly. It's really, and all of this, I should preface, I've studied and worked a lot with Tony Robbins. All of this content that I'm going to share with you, besides my personal story, is stuff that I've learned from Tony Robbins over the last 4 or 5 years. And it's made a world of difference in my life. And it's something that I know because I've been helping teach it now for the last few years. That's really amazing, the power that it has when you really take it and input it into your own lives. So an extraordinary life is simply life on your terms. And so there's 2 pieces to success, really, and creating this life on your terms. One is the science of achievement, right? So this is the stuff that's measurable. This is your success club every month, non-negotiable. That's how we're growing a business. This is your leadership ladder, climbing up the ranks. And so you're creating these teams of your own that are sustainable over time, your rank, all these different things. And again, as it's written, the ability to produce results, to take anything you envision and make it real, right? But then the other piece of this is really, really important. And especially as you guys create massive success with your businesses, which you will. It's if you're putting in the work, then you're going to have this success, right? And so you're going to achieve these things. But the other piece of it that's hugely important is the art of fulfillment. And that's the ability to feel happiness and joy in the process. And this is going to really enhance your entire experience of life. Because what happens when you have superstar bonus of $70,000 sitting in your lap every quarter? Like, what happens when you have all these things, but then you aren't able to look back and see, wait a minute, I am successful because X, Y, Z. It's not just the next thing. Because there's lots of people who, I've seen it, who do really great, but they aren't able to fully have this piece of it. And you'll see it a lot in celebrity suicides, for example. How many people loved Robin Williams? Everybody, like, Robin Williams was amazing. He made everybody in the world laugh. He was the pinnacle of success, if you'd say, one of the best actors of all times, right? And yet he was missing this art of fulfillment, the ability for himself to feel happiness and joy in the process of making everyone else happy. So this piece is just really so important. And so it's one of the things that we're going to talk about. But one of the ways that you're going to do this is creating a life on your terms. So sometimes we'll go into my story a little bit now, and you'll be able to identify with a lot of the pieces, but sometimes we come in and we're looking at everybody else. What is this superstar doing? And what is this superstar doing? And maybe even it's just our upline, and not to say that you shouldn't model some of the, activities that they're doing, but if we're trying to reach their goals, that's not necessarily going to fulfill you. So it's really important that you understand and start having vision and real clarity on what it is that you want in your life and what success is going to look like for you. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And again, the reason why I'm saying that is because the more successful somebody becomes, when they're not able to experience that art of fulfillment, it's actually more and more frustrating for them. Because all of a sudden you have all the things, you have all the money, you have all the things that you kept saying, well, when I have this, I'll be happy. All of a sudden you have these things, but then you're not happy because you didn't learn to create that joy along the way, okay? And so let's create some joy, yeah? So this is really fun because I've been a coach 6 years now, just had my 6th anniversary, but this saying, I didn't want to mess with it. It's so perfect. People often overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 5 years. So I'll show you now what I did in 5 years. And sometimes I would set a goal for myself 1 year out, and I would miss it, and I'd get really frustrated, and some goals I'd hit. But, if I big picture up and look at what I was able to do over the past last 5 years, I don't recognize my life anymore. So this is when I started Beachbody. This was my official before picture. Again, it's not hugely, 100 pounds to lose, but I did have extra weight for my children, and I grew up athletic. So for me, this was, very uncomfortable for me. You could see my face. That was pretty much the forced smile that I walked around with. I was 34 years old. I was mama of 2 babies. I was in pending divorce, bankruptcy. My home was in foreclosure. I'd been an accounting manager for 13 years, and not because I loved it, but because that's what I've always been a hard worker, and that's where my job promotions had led me, basically. And it wound up being the only thing of huge substance for 13 years on my resume. And when I went back to my job after my daughter was born, I'd been there 6 years, and there was all kinds of things happening around 2007, 2008. But the long story short, I was laid off from that position on the day I was coming back from my maternity leave. And so that was on top of a lot of financial issues that, we were already having at the point. But I stayed home for the next year. My ex had just opened a restaurant at the time. It's kind of a last-ditch Hail Mary, interesting, story. But he had gone to do this and try this, and we were already in such a bad financial spot that I said, you might as well chase your dream. You never know. And we'll see where it goes. Well, it went like this, as lots and lots of restaurants do. And, throughout it, though, I became the person. Lots of times moms, we become martyrs, right? And we have to do everything for our children. And we don't even think twice about it. It's our instinct for a lot of women, your maternal instinct to give up everything to make sure that they come first. And a lot of times we do that to ourselves, unknowingly sacrificing our health, which is not good for them, and unrealizing that we're sacrificing our mental health, which is also not good for them, but thinking all along that we're doing this for them. So the way that I came to finally become a coach is my upline coach is Becky Brosset, and I had been friends with her since college, and I kept seeing her on Facebook, and we had our kids around the same time. And so I had kind of told myself the story that I'm a mom now. This is just how moms look. And that was, the story I told myself to make myself feel better about, looking a lot different than I used to. I'm feeling tired and feeling exhausted and, like I was basically just surviving. But then Becky kept showing up on Facebook every day, and looking more and more fit and more energetic and more lean and sexy. And I'm just watching her disprove my theory over and over again every day. And it was like, man. So I'm stubborn. I still didn't join her. I still wanted to go my own way, because I reached out to her. Hey, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, you should do it with me. I'm doing this thing called P90X. And I was like, whoa, that's the thing that you do in your garage. Not going to do that. I can't do that. Every excuse that you hear, I had it. I can't work out at home. My kids will be in the way. I won't be disciplined enough. I'll find the laundry under the couch and stop my, every excuse you could imagine, I had it. So I decided to go out and start running, plus running was free. And so I started running, so much so, and I'd never run before, that I wound up in the Miami Marathon, which was like, whoa. All of a sudden I'm running 26 miles, but I had a big epiphany getting to that marathon day, because I got in the corrals, and I don't know if any of you are runners, but I got into the corrals and I'm looking around at everybody aside, surrounding me. And I was just like, wow, I was both just mind blown and impressed and inspired and also very wrong all at the same moment, because all of a sudden I realized these people were all around me, and a lot of them were overweight. A lot of them were, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, these people, and I had lost weight, but my physique hadn't changed. But I'm looking at everyone going, wow, it's incredible. These people are going to go and run 26 miles too. And not only did they run it, a lot of them passed me along the way. And I was like, oh, dang, whoops. So what I realized that day, though, was that even though you can run and run and run and run, that's not going to necessarily change your physique to what you want it to be. Running is amazing. It has great mental benefits. It has great cardiovascular benefits. However, you can't just run and not do the things that we do every day, which is our nutrition and our daily strength training, cross training workouts to change your physique entirely. So I, finally finished that marathon, and I came home, and after a year of telling Becky no, I said, okay, fine, I want to try P90X too. And so I got it, and it was just being released. And I didn't do it for a few months. I was scared to start. And then I never told her. I finally started it, and I was doing that at 4:30 in the morning every morning because I didn't want anybody to know I was doing it in case if I didn't finish it, nobody would know. But within the month, I all of a sudden started feeling like, well, number one, I had to modify everything because my strength was nowhere near what you need to do P90X too. But it didn't matter. Like, I felt all of a sudden in a time in my life where our house was in foreclosure and it felt like everything was swirling out of control. I finally felt like there was something that I could control. I could control if I woke up, pressed play, worked out, and got stronger a little bit more each day. And it was hard, and I had to modify. But suddenly that little spark inside of me said, you can do hard things. And it woke me up from this coma that I hadn't realized that I had been in, and just was like, oh my gosh, you can do hard things. And this little tiny step led, an amazing way, because it was that one change that we get to give people with this opportunity every day that led to such a great life change for me, because then I finally decided in July to become a coach. I decided I really needed Shakeology. I was sold on Shakeology. I wanted Shakeology. I was in bankruptcy. I could not come up with $130 extra or whatever it cost at the time. So I saved and saved and saved. I became a coach with my next program. And I said, this month, if I don't have those 3 people to put that money back into my bank account, I'll cancel. Because, I need that money back in my account in order to do it again the next month. But I was really just driven to have Shakeology. I knew it was going to make a difference in my life. By that point, I noticed that my breakfast consisted of goldfish and coffee, and that wasn't really good for my physique goals. So I knew that this was going to make the big difference. So I worked and worked and worked, saved up that money, became a coach, and lo and behold, that first month I was able to have 3 people start with me. And not only that, not only did they start with me, but they wanted to do this program with me that I was going to do next. And it was fun. It was exciting. And at a time, again, that everything was really bad around me, I finally had this like really uplifting outlet where I could help people, that I could give back to other people and do something fun virtually. From there, the next month, I heard about the Success Club trip. And every year it changes, so don't get hung up on the details. But that particular year, the trip was a family trip to Disney World. And that particular year, you could still earn it if everything had to line up, that I had to earn Success Club every single month for the rest of the year and become a diamond in 90 days. And I didn't even know what diamond was yet. But what I heard was, you can take your kids who are 3 and 6 years old to Disney World, stay in the yacht club, and have this amazing experience with them if you keep enrolling 3 people every month. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it, because at the end of the day, I want to take my kids to Disney World. Like, so much bad stuff had been happening around us. It felt like that became my why, right? And we talk about how important that is. So first it was Shakeology. It transformed into this Disney World trip. And so the year continued to proceed. My marriage got worse and worse. And I was, at least, thank goodness, being uplifted with my Beachbody coaching, and was able to achieve Diamond in 89 days because I had that 90-day deadline, right? So 89 days we were able to do that. And my ex and I split in December. There was no money for Christmas or any of those things. So it really became to me that Beachbody was going to be the Christmas gift, right? Because I went into Disney, into the Disney store that they have in some of the malls then, and I asked them for the gift cards. And no money on them, but the kids didn't need to know that they were 3 and 6. And I was able to wrap those up and put those under the tree. And that was their Christmas gift that year. It was this big Disney trip to go in April for Success Club. And to me, that just was so important because I knew that I was about to take them, you know, we were about to go through a divorce. We were going to rip apart their family. And no matter how you try and ease it, that's never easy for anybody. So to me, that became just so significant that no matter what came up, I was going to earn Success Club and I was going to become Diamond in that deadline so I could have that for them. So that was the beginning of my coaching journey. We went through with the divorce, you know, right then. But from there, it wasn't until I actually got to that trip that somebody sat down with me and started explaining to me the comp plan. And I had gone back to school in the meantime because I'm a fighter, guys. And I know a lot of us are. I'm a fighter. I'm a hard worker. So I had gone back to school. I was like, I'm going to become a paralegal. I don't know. I just knew I didn't want to go back to accounting. And I'd started working with an attorney who's now one of the diamonds on my team. I had started doing all these things because I just knew that I was going to make it work for me and my kids. You know, there's no other alternative, right? So it wasn't until that Success Club trip that I went and somebody sat down and explained a little bit about what was Team Cycle Bonus, that silly $14 that I kept getting once in a blue moon. And I started realizing, I'm like, wait a minute, you mean I can earn a full-time income from this fun stuff that I've been doing? And it was then that I started like, whoa, okay, this is nowhere, you know, near. This has been really great money to help bridge gaps for me right now, but I didn't ever realize that I could have this full income potential. And so I sat down and I reverse engineered everything. I went through everything and I said, okay, I'm going to do this because you know what? I'm not going to be the stereotypical single mom who is working downtown and has to pick up her kids from aftercare at 6 o'clock and come home and not have time to cook them dinner and not have time to sit down and do their homework with them, much less ask them how was their day or snuggle up and watch something on TV or read a book with them. That's not going to be my life. It might be it for right now, but I am not going to give that life to my children. That's not what they deserve. That's not what I deserve, no matter what we've been through. This is a way out for me. And in a time where a lot of people, when they come up on challenges, so now imagine I'm in court, I've gone back to school, I'm working full time, I'm in court for bankruptcy, I'm in court for divorce, my divorce got very ugly. All these things, this is a time a lot of times when people will put Beachbody on the back burner, right? Because they say, I just need to focus on everything else right now. But what a lot of people neglect to realize is that Beachbody is your solution. Beachbody is a thing that's going to help you create this life that you prefer, that you want, that you are committed to giving to your families. So thankfully, I was able to see that right away when somebody explained it to me. And I just set out on this mission. I knew what I needed to do then. I set out, you know, I reverse engineered, okay, I need to make X to replace my job salary. And I went driving towards that number. I had a very clear vision. I had a very clear goal. And I went on and was able to do that. And, you know, we're supposed to put the legal disclaimer, right? Beachbody does not guarantee any particular income, but if you work your ass off, you can do it too. I don't think that's exactly how it goes, but more or less. And so I was able to do that and leave, you know, this corporate world and be there for my kids and, you know, give them gymnastics after school and have them move into a school that was like a dream come true for me. And all of these things because I continued to work with Beachbody and just show up every day working towards these goals. So another one of the things that I was able to do is, like I mentioned earlier, study with Tony Robbins. And I went to Date with Destiny 3 or 4 years ago, which is one of his biggest, bestest, and most deep dive seminars that you can go to. And if you ever have the opportunity or can create that opportunity for yourself, I highly recommend it. But this was something that I learned on the first day from him that just completely changed my life, because I had gone about rearranging my life by this point and, you know, doing all these things to become, you know, successful and present with my children. But I was still carrying around a lot of pain, right? And a lot of times we do. And it doesn't mean, I think a lot of times we hold on to pain because we think, well, if I let it go, that's saying that I agree that it was fair. And I know for me, that's what I felt like. You know, like I was not bitter, because at the same time, my life had taken such a better turn. And I knew that because I was placed in that hard spot, I was able to really push myself and thrive. But I was still carrying around a lot of pain because it wasn't fair, because it wasn't this, because that. And I wouldn't wear it on the outside, but it was still something that just sat a little heavy in my heart. And so what I learned is that suffering about it is optional, right? So pain is part of life. Things are going to happen. People are going to pass away. Wrong things are going to happen to you. All these things can happen, but we get to choose how long we are going to sit and suffer about it, right? And we can think about this in a way that's like really trivial. You know, if it's something silly, don't cry over spilled milk, right? And so if it's spilled milk and, oh gosh, how annoying, but you know, 2 minutes later we decide we're over the spilled milk and we go about our way, right? But then when it's things that are emotionally attached to us, it really is a lot harder, we think, to move beyond these things. And what we realized there, you know, that first day of Date with Destiny, is that no, it really is a choice. So it doesn't mean that, again, that it's not, that it is fair or that it was okay that it happened. When things happen, a lot of times they're not fair and they're not okay, but we get to decide when we want to choose to end our suffering. So for me, that was just a huge thing. And there's 3 ways, because sometimes we're like, yeah, in the thick of things, yeah, that's easy to say, but I can't let this go, right? Or I can't, you know, this is controlling me. And I get those feelings, but there's 3 hacks. Don't worry, we got 3 hacks to help you. So we're going to change as soon as, first thing is recognizing it, right? So before we even get into the 3 hacks, first thing is recognizing that we're suffering over something. And when we do, and we can recognize that, then we can consciously say, I am going to end it. I am making the choice to move forward. And here's the 3 hacks that you can apply then. So the first thing, a lot of people, a lot of coaches, I'm so glad I've been seeing this around a lot. A lot of coaches are already using the 5-minute journal. And this is just something, like for me, this is journaling for dummies, which I needed, because I'd sit there and I'm like, people say to journal, and I would just stare. I'm like, what am I supposed to write about? What I dreamed about or what I want for breakfast? Like, I don't get it. So this is great if you're not a journaler, or if you need a little bit of guidance or just a little bit of, you know, structure for starting to live in a state of gratitude. That's a great prompt for you every morning, but to appreciate and enjoy. So look around at the things that are around you that so oftentimes we totally, you know, take for granted. And it sounds so trivial or woo, but it really is a choice. And the thing that's incredible is that our minds are totally, we think we are in here. And honestly, this is a muscle, and who we are is really in here. And so this muscle has been trained by television, by the people we've hung around, by the things that, these recurring subconscious thoughts that we've had over and over and over and over. So just like any workout program, when we start reprogramming our brain and doing exercises in our brain to shift these patterns and shift the way that we think, we're going to totally transform our lives just because of these exercises that we're doing up here. You don't ever leave here. This is an exercise though. So appreciating and enjoying is an exercise that the more you do it, the more natural it's going to become, okay? And so again, if you need some guidance, start with a 5-minute journal, or you don't even need a fancy 5-minute journal. Start with a pad and a paper or the note section in your phone every morning when you wake up, as soon as your alarm clock goes off. And this is really training, because usually the alarm clock goes off and it's, oh God, or, you know, all these things. But like when I did the miracle morning, this was, you know, one of the things that as soon as the alarm clock goes off, train my brain. What am I thankful for? Oh, I'm so thankful my air conditioner's still on. I mean, why wouldn't it be? But have you ever had to sleep without the air conditioner? At least in Miami, that is awful. And it's something that we take for granted all the time. So now before I go to bed every night, I don't care if it's cheesy, I'm a happy girl. Every night I put the stuff to wash, I put the laundry, everything's washing, my air conditioner. I'm like, thank you for electricity. Thank you. I'm so thankful for somebody. The machine is washing my clothes, the machine is washing my dishes and keeping me cool. We are good. Like, and it's training your brain to do this on a more automatic basis. Instead of, I heard something once that said, don't listen to yourself, talk to yourself. I loved that. Because if we're listening to ourselves, again, it's just the programming that we've been conditioned with through childhood. I mean, how many years of programming is built in there, right? So anyhow, appreciate and enjoy, learn and grow. So this is something, again, that we take for granted, but learn and grow. So that's why PD all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. And, or, you know, growing as a person. Like I said, I met Trina at a seminar that was outside of Beachbody because she was growing her, you know, professional, and that's also a mental place to grow as well in any type of seminar like that. And then also love, give, and be grateful. This weekend, I'm not going to lie, I was in a funk. And this past weekend, and I recognized it. And all of a sudden I saw one of my friends, my yogi friends, that put up, oh, I'm doing a beach cleanup and meditation. I drove myself there so fast. And not because I care about the earth, but I'm not like super dedicated to earth cleanup. But I just knew that if I was in a funk, this is such an easy way for me to get out of my own crap cycle in my head, go out, take in nature, give back, be around people who are caring and giving. And that just, it's a hack. It's a hack, and it's a really easy way to just snap yourself out of a funk. So again, with all three of these things, the very first thing you need to do is become cognizant. So when you find yourself feeling crappy, when you find yourself not doing your invites, when you find yourself walking around and you see everything negative, 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 catch it and then say, oh, I caught it. Get excited that you caught it and go through the 3 hacks. What can I do right now? What can I appreciate right now? How can I grow right now? And who can I give back to right now? And then again, your brain, like I was mentioning earlier, it is not designed to make you happy. Your brain is designed to protect you, right? It was a survival thing. This, again, is who we are. This is meant to help us stay alive. So it's going to always want to default to that, you know, negative and careful and caution. So it's a matter of rewiring it. So how can this help your business? Now let's get to the good stuff, right? Okay, because when you change your story, your life will change. So, you know, I didn't go into a whole lot of the details of my getting started, my rough patch. But when I changed my story from any story, any of you, whatever story you have, I promise you, and anything coming up that happens to you, when you can learn to immediately ask, instead of saying, why me? Why did this happen to me? To why did this happen for me? Even when it sucks, even if it's the worst thing that's ever happened to you. And it's not easy sometimes. Sometimes you're like, are you kidding me? No, this totally freaking happened to me. How did this happen for me? Why did this happen for me? And you, again, change your brain to find the learning lesson, to find what's going to help you. And, you know, my life coach that I had for a long time, he would tell me, you have to effectively blame. You know, so if my ex did all these things, he would say, okay, if we're going to blame him for all those things that are valid and true, we also need to blame him for all your success. And I'm like, what? That's my success. Don't you dare. How dare you? And he would say, okay, but I mean, yeah, but also we have to effectively blame. If he hadn't have put you in this situation that sucked, would you have been with your back against the wall that propelled you to success? You know, and so it's learning to, again, adapt the way that you're thinking. Instead of being the victim, this is the same thing. You become the victor, okay? Victora sounds more feminine, right? So again, instead of why did it happen to me, for me? Same thing. Whenever you hit a challenge, I think, yep, why did this happen to me? I was like, I know this, I just said it. Instead ask, why did this happen for me? And what do you get to learn from this? So, and this one I love. I forget which book I heard this in recently, but it just totally reframed everything from my diet to my dating life, everything. You know, those guys that you know are really bad for you, but for some reason you like wind up, hi. Guess what? So, you know, then you like do the alternative, you go hide, and or Let's take it out of the personal. If you're at a birthday party and like you don't want to go to the birthday party because you know there's going to be cupcakes and your favorite food and your favorite whatever, and you're doing the 21-day reset or whatever it is that you're doing, so you choose to hide. If you grasp a hold of this, your life is going to be a whole lot funner, and you're going to be a lot more empowered, because every temptation is a chance for transformation. So all of a sudden, instead of hiding from those cupcakes when they come around, I'm like, bring it on, because guess what? Now you're almost excited about those challenges, because every time that temptation comes around, you go, oh, good, my chance for transformation. And that little switch in your head from, oh, I can't have the cupcake and it smells so good, to bring on the cupcakes. I can't wait. This is my transformation day. Bring it. Like, it is such an empowering switch when you're able to do that. So write that one down. Every temptation is a chance for transformation. I would like to have it, like, I think it is tattooed on the inside of my head. Like, I just love that one. And again, you can use this in everything. And even, again, into your power hours, when you sit down and you get to that part that you hate doing, that you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Every temptation to skip that piece, that's actually the piece that's missing for your business to move forward, is your chance for transformation. So now when you get to that piece of your power hour that you normally, I'm so busy, I can't do that one, that's the time that you get to remember this, recall this, and say, oh, this is my chance for transformation. So 2 tangible steps to turn this psyche into massive business success. Vision. And this is an exercise. You can screenshot this really quick, or if you'd like to, I would love for you to start journaling in the chat. It's really been, a fun thing to do, is dare to dream and create your roadmap to success. And a lot of times, like, I know before I started with Beachbody, I put dare to dream because I didn't dare to think anything other than, what am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to keep the lights on tomorrow? How am I going to get groceries for next week? That was all that I dared to think about. And for me to try and think about anything outside of that, it seemed ludicrous to me. And so for me, when I came into Beachbody and started having these little cracks and these little blues, that all of a sudden my head could think, oh my gosh, can you imagine that this could be your full-time income? Could you imagine that maybe someday you'll get abs when you're 40? What? Like, can you imagine? And so this is something, if you are in a place that, or even if you're not, but like, especially if you're in a place that you don't know, like, vision, please don't downplay this. This is the time that, and you need to become very audacious with your goals. You need to be audacious enough to say, yes, this is something that's my birthright. This is something that, I'm created for greatness. And just because I'm in a funk, or just because I hit a bump, doesn't mean that I'm not entitled to have my best life and the best life for my family. So what would your life be like if it was exactly the way that you wanted it today? And what does that look like? Does it look like you're traveling to see your family all the time, traveling to see all these cool places that people like, I hate, sorry if you do this, I hate when people share things and they're like, bucket list, but they say it like as if it's never gonna happen. I'm like, that's stupid. I'm gonna put it on my to-do list, like, for next week, because why not? Why wouldn't you? And they had, oh, someday, LOL. It's not funny, I'm going next week. I've been I've been surfing in Morocco, and I've hung out in Tony Robbins' camp in Fiji, and I was bankrupt 5 years ago. And I'm not saying that to brag, but I'm saying it because I said, that's what I want. And I got really audacious to say, why not me? Why not? Why can't I take a single mom? I'm not a skier, guys. I'm from Miami. And a lot of Miami families grow up every year going skiing. Not me. We were 5 kids. We did not have those luxuries. But I wanted my kids to have that. But we're just, single mom in it. And I'm thinking, okay, well, do I take my kids skiing by myself? Like, I don't know. And I'm like, why not? And so, of course, as soon as I start thinking that something like, oh, you can't do that, then I have 2 pieces in my brain. The other one's like, oh, now you have to. Oh, for real? You're going to do it? Yes, you are. So there's a lot of things that happen in there. So I decided that I was going to take my 2 kids, and I wasn't sure. We were either going to hate each other or have the best time ever because they've never been skiing. I barely know how to go down a bunny hill, but I saved and I put it on my to-do board. And I worked towards this thing. We got a private ski instructor because it's me and a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. And we got a private ski instructor who was like my fill-in husband for the day, who was amazing. He even carried my lunch tray in the cafeteria. It was awesome. I had a beer. I was like, this is great. He was watching the kids. But like, we had the most epic vacation. And I just sat there and I was like, yes. And my kids to this day still talk about that trip, and I still reminisce, and we're going to do it again, probably next year because it was that much fun. But, at the same time, there was that piece of me when I first thought about, I wish I could go skiing with my kids, that said, why are you going to do that? You're a single mom. You don't even ski. You're going to get up on the top of the mountain. You guys are all going to get stuck, which we did one time, but it's like one of our funnest stories ever now. So it was an experience. But what does your life look like? And what would you change from right now? So in the beginning, to me, I was stuck in a cubicle downtown. I had to go an hour in traffic each way. If I needed to see my kids' show, I had to submit a request. May I please go see my kids get croup and they're out sick for a week, and then I want to see their show. And that was not okay for me. So I knew that needed to change. What would you enhance? Who would you spend more time with? What would you appreciate more? I live in Miami now. I appreciate the beaches even more because on any given day, if I decide that I've done all my invites and I've been a good girl, I take myself out to the beach where I never could do that before on a weekday. I appreciate it more now. What would you do? And I hope that you guys have written some things down for yourselves. I hope that you are being bold, because that can be scary, because sometimes we're afraid to put something out there because we're afraid, what if I put it out there and then I can't do it? But this is an exercise in confidence, guys, and it's never going to improve until you do this scary piece. So please make sure you do that. The next piece is shifting your identity, and we're almost done. But when you shift your identity, I'm going to give you another example for that. It's something amazingly powerful that's going to shift everything that you do. Tony Robbins says the most powerful force in our human psychology is the need to remain consistent with our identity. And so this is really, really powerful. The reason being is because this will go into vocabulary, the way that you speak about yourself, the way that you speak to yourself, and the way that you think of yourself. And it's really important that right now, not that you change, if right now I'm this person, I need to be this other person. No, it's saying I am X. So I'll give you an example. When I started with Beachbody, I had that weight to lose. I lost the weight, as some Beachbody coaches tend to do. I put 5 pounds back on, 5 pounds back off, 5 pounds back on, 5 pounds back off. Here comes the Success Club Cruise, 5 pounds back off. Success Club Cruise, I ate 10 pounds on the ship. But, back and forth. And I finally got sick of it. And last year, at the beginning of the year, in 2017, I decided to run another. And at the beginning of the year, my coach had been working with me a lot about identity and incantations, and I didn't quite get it. I was like, he wants me to do this, and I don't get it, but whatever. I'm going to start doing it. And I said, okay, you know what? I am an athlete. And this is the power of I am as well, right? But I want to break this down for you because it's very cliche. I am an athlete. I am a leader of leaders. I am an incredible mom. I am a superstar coach. Now I was none of those things at that time. And I'm still working on some of them, right? I was not an athlete. I was not but I went ahead and said, I am an athlete. And every morning I put it on a whiteboard in my garage where I work out. And every single morning I would come out and say, I'm an athlete. I'm a leader of leaders. And I would read it. I am an athlete. I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete. I did not feel like an athlete. I did not look like an athlete. I did not perform like an athlete. But every day that I kept going out there, I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete. And suddenly, you want to know what happened? When I went out to happy hour, I would have a drink. And I don't usually have just one drink. So I would have a drink, and then all of a sudden I'd say, oh, Aimee, have another drink. No, I'm good. And I'd even surprised myself. And I'm like, hey, who's this girl? She's pretty cool. And all of a sudden, though, I'm an athlete. And tomorrow morning, I need to perform. And because I had started to shift my identity to being an athlete and not just a fittish mom, suddenly, subconsciously, the things that I was doing that I used to struggle with started aligning. I'm an athlete. I'm not going to do that. I'm an athlete. You know, when I go to the birthday parties, now the cupcakes aren't as big of a temptation. No, athletes don't eat that. I am Serena Williams. She might eat it. I don't know. But, you know, in my head, I am now an athlete. And not only do I need to look a particular way for an occasion or a trip, but I need to perform as an athlete because I'm an athlete. And it was crazy that last year was the year I became the most fit and lean of all my years. And it's continued into this year. And when I went to Fiji, I was hiking up the mountain on the first morning with a big group of us. And this woman came up to me and my friend that were there. And she says, hey, my name's Siri. Are you guys athletes? And I was like, oh, it's so crazy you say that. I am an athlete. And she was like, yeah, I thought so. And I was like, what do you do? She's like, oh, I'm a professional triathlete coach. And I was like, how validating was that? Like, I got so excited. I was like a professional triathlete coach. Like, and she was like a world champion at one point. She was awesome. Come to find out, she was actually an ambassador for the launch of Beachbody Performance when we partnered with Ironman. How crazy was all of that? In Fiji, I met her. But point being, everything in my body began to align because I shifted my identity in my head. So you can use Power by Am. You can say fake it till you make it. You can say all these things. But for me, it's understanding this. This is how it happens, is when you shift your identity. When you declare, I am an athlete. I am a leader of leaders. I am a light. I am an incredible mom. I am a contributor to my community. Like, gosh, how empowering is that? Like, I feel good just sitting here. Like, and what an awesome way is that to feel, instead of I'm a hot mess. I'm a, oh my gosh, I'm barely hanging on by a thread. Which one to you feels like you want to come hang out with me? So when you're conveying that with your social media, with your posts, with your anything, when you own that identity and step into your greatness, people are going to want to be around you. It's not going to be that hard. People want to be with the leader of leaders. Yeah. So, you know, really think about when you picture your vision. So moving the two things together, when you think about your vision, where you want to be, who you want to be hanging out with, what do you want to be known as? What is, when you die, and this, it sounds morbid, but it's not. What do you want people to remember you as? Who do you want to be, and why aren't you? Shift your identity, and everything else is going to line up, and your goals suddenly become just something that you are doing. It's incredible. So beliefs have the power to create and the power to destroy. Human beings have the awesome ability to take any experience. So no matter what you have been through, no matter what you're going to go through, when you own this and understand and keep it really close to your heart and recall it on the toughest of days, that you have the awesome ability to take any experience of your lives and create a meaning that either disempowers them or literally saves your life. That will change everything. And again, guys, this is totally plugged into your business, but I think that you get that this can be anywhere in life that you can plug all of this into. And it is just something that's going to help you, you know, no matter where you go, no matter what you do. It's just something that's hugely important. So, you know, when they say personal development, don't go, it's like the ticket to success here with our business. And it's something that's, you know, really going to not only create success, but create joy and happiness and all the things that you want as part of your success. That is success. So I hope that you guys got a few things from that. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. I don't know. How are we doing on time? Sorry if I went long. I get excited.
No, not at all. We're blabbers, and usually we are on here. We do like 30 minutes of whatever training, and then we all blabber our faces off for like half an hour until everybody gets out. I'm just, thank you so much. Like, I'm sitting here with literally a roll of toilet paper, like the whole time. And I got like 2 pages of notes because it was so good. But your story is so incredible. And I'm just sitting here writing down all the stuff and thinking how brave you are, and such an incredible inspirational story of overcoming, and just you're this single mama powerhouse. And I just love how you're like, no excuses and just do it. And I love that, and I'm so inspired by that, because I think we need to hear that sometimes. And I think sometimes it's really hard to discipline ourselves to do those things that are hard, but more so than anything is to discipline that mindset, to, like you say, shift that belief in ourselves and who we think we are, you know. And I used to tell myself, I'm not a morning person. I can't get up. I can't get up. I can't get up. And I literally 4:45 a.m. that alarm goes off, and I get my ass up. I don't like it, but I get my 2 scoops of Energize, and I fill that thing up. You know, and I mean, I never thought I could be that person. When I met my husband, I had 5 alarm clocks, all set 2 minutes apart in separate places, one even around the corner of a different room. Like, it was a problem. But so, you know, anybody, you can, we can transform. And a lot of it is time too, having the patience to, you know, nobody changes overnight. Nobody builds these dreams overnight. So I love that you broke that down as a 5-year thing. Like, you know, everything, we're so instant society. Credit card that, oh, want that thing now, use my Visa. We can't just Visa our businesses into, you know, it's just time and consistency, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys want to, I'm just going to check the chat and see for questions here. Jen said, Aimee, was your family supportive of your business in the beginning?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I did have, I could say it. My first no was a huge blow. And like one that I think, looking back on, I was like, man, I was tough, because when I first became a coach, I was so excited because I was having this transformation on my own, right? I wasn't where I wanted to be ultimately, but I was feeling already these changes. And at the time, my sister, bless her heart, my sister started dating her boyfriend who was over 500 pounds. And I was just like, I can save him. Eager new coach, but like I wasn't quite like that. But, you know, I was just so excited to help him, because I know, like, I was watching all of the people who were joining have this amazing success. And I that year, Richard Neal had been the Beachbody Grand Prize winner. And this was one of the cool things too, when I first got started, I didn't know who he was. And also, guys, especially if you're new, but no matter what stage of the business you're in, please always be resourceful. Like, there's so much when we're just brave enough to say, I'll figure it out, you know, and you go Google it, Facebook it, YouTube it, whatever. And, you know, it really is totally in your power. But I reached out to this guy, Richard Neal, on Facebook, because he had won the Beachbody Challenge and he had started over 500 pounds. And I didn't know exactly what tips to give him. I had lost 40 pounds, which I was super excited about, but that's not, you know, 400 pounds. So I reached out to Richard Neal. He has no idea who I am. I'm like a brand new coach. He gets on the phone 3-way, and it was just like, man, the power of Beachbody community was so evident to me right away from the beginning. But he got on the phone with the 3 of us, and I was just so gung-ho, and he came over to my house, and I made my shake for him, and he took a sip and was like, that's disgusting. And I was like, first of all, it's not disgusting. And this was all in my head, because there was a new relationship with my sister too. So I was like, can I tell him what I really think? But I didn't. But in my head, I'm like, number 1, it is not disgusting. It's delicious. And number 2, like, if I was in that, scary of a health position, I would eat dirt. I would eat dirt. I thought it was going to help me. And this chocolate milkshake, hello. But I was just like, crushed because that was my first no. And I had just so much, like my first big no. Like there was other people that blew me off, ignored me, whatever, fine. But this was the one that I was just so emotionally connected to. And for him to tell me no, he didn't want my help, I was just like, what, you know? And then I think they did try and it didn't stick to it. But anyhow, that was, you know, something for me. What was the question? I don't even remember. But, you know, oh, if my family was supportive. Yes, everybody else was. But the one that I wanted to help the most was, yeah, my mom was very supportive. She was actually one of the enrollments that I did at like 11:55. Jeff Hill loves to tell the story. Like at 11:55 at night, because I was like reading through all the you know, policies and procedures to figure out how I could win this trip to Disney World, because I cared. I read through the policies and procedures. It's actually something on our website. And I read through all the FAQs and everything because I wanted to take my kids to Disney World. And I'm reading through everything, and all of a sudden I'm like, Mom, wake up. I really need you to be my coach. Like, okay. I was like, you can cancel next month if this doesn't work out, but I just need you to do it, okay? Is it 11? And she was like, okay. Well, what's neat is my mom had just done her blood work, and she was never like much overweight, but she had just done her blood work. She was 65, and she had started just that month before. Her blood pressure had gone up, her cholesterol had gone up, everything had crept up. And the doctor had told her, listen, you know, started doing the doctor thing. Here's some medications. My mom was like, no. I'm like, Mom, drink my shake. So she drank my shake and, you know, cleaned up her food a little bit. A year later, she went to do her annual again, stayed on Shakeology the whole time, had not worked out or anything yet. 21-day fix had not come out. And she went back, did her blood work. My mom became like mega coach that day that she came home with her blood paperwork. I didn't even know she knew how to use Facebook. She had her blood. I log in and I see my mom's blood work paperwork pasted on Facebook. I'm like, Mom? And she's like, look at how good. And it's because of Shakeology. And it's true. That was like primarily the thing that she had changed. So she became eventually she became a diamond coach on her.
No way. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
All her friends, and yeah. So that was really exciting for her. But yes, my family was supportive. I know that there's lots of times that families aren't supportive, but you know what? That's, again, something that's happening for you. It's making you stronger since the beginning. It's making you define your why and really stick your heels in the mud and say, nope, this is, you know, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is what I believe in, this is what I stand for, and this is where I'm going. And, you know, whether they join you or support you or not, this has got to be what you are, you know, committed to doing. And I was just going to say, I know I hear a lot, like we have a lot of single moms on our team, and I know a lot of times there's always that like whole emerald conversation where everybody's like, sign up your spouse and blah, blah, blah. And I just know you're going to have something great to say about that. But I'm like, you know, if you're not in that position, what would your advice be to somebody who doesn't have a spouse to sign up? How do you think, you know, the best way for them to maybe tackle that situation, that whole emerald situation? Totally. Well, I always think that, you know, whoever goes there, whether it's a spouse or a mom or a best friend or a sister or a brother or a dog, I'm kidding about the dog. Whoever is going there, like, it's honestly a really great opportunity for them. And whether they realize it or not, they don't need to even know that they, you know, but in the beginning, just, you know, again, somebody who you'd say, I would love if eventually, you don't have to do anything right now, but just trust me. If they do want to, great. But even if they don't, you know, just listen to me, start enjoying this special. If someday down the road, I'm putting you in like my VIP position, that you can really create something cool with this. If later on, and how cool would it be if we get to, you know, have this business together, you know, and that's something that I totally feel confident talking, you know, to my best friend or my sister or anybody like that, that, you know, it's a really great opportunity. Again, it's not like with coaching, we have to dish out and buy inventory or anything like that. So you're not asking them to do anything outlandish. So who cares? Spouse, no spouse, doesn't matter. A limiting belief.
And well, I love that. It is a limiting belief because I just feel like there's this vast world of opportunity out there, you know?
Yeah.
And so many amazing people that we have yet to connect with, and we just have to, you know, be crazy about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anybody else have any more questions? Thank you so much. I feel like we're like taking so much of your time, and I don't want to take any more of your time, but I just so appreciate that you did this for us, and you just have such an amazing story. So thank you so much. And I guess that I'll let you go. And if anybody has any questions and you want to ask her later, maybe just message me and I'll ask Aimee. And thank you so much.
No problem. Have a great night, guys.
You too. Thanks again for everything. That was amazing.